Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're back once again, another Saturday night. So you know what that means. Coveys Grassroots show. How you doing?
All right, mate. I'm doing all right. Sorry I have to wear the glasses tonight, but we had a little chat offline. I just can't see anymore, mate. It's game over for me.
So if you want to know why he's going for the intellectual look this week, it's because, you know, he's having problems seeing us all. So, yeah, that's the reason.
To see the comments down the side, I have to like really strain my eyes like that. So it's not doing me good. So I have to wear the bins. It's giving a really annoying reflection as well.
I mean, look, you're raising the intellect level of the show, so you know I can't complain too much. But
yeah, we're just gonna try and ignore the hat. The hat's hiding the barnet, mate. The barnet is long. Oh my god!
And after the news has come out as well, I'm sure. Like I don't care. Like I'm keeping mine how it is anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. But for you, obviously,
I've got a job interview tomorrow, so I've got to keep it a little. I can't do it tonight. I can't do it before the job interview. So I've got a job interview on Monday, and I can't do that. I can't get the clippers out myself before that. No chance. No chance of getting that interview with air spratting out all over the gaff.
Yeah. But how's everything else going? Obviously, this week, you know, been a good week.
Yeah, it's been a good week. Obviously, we had Jubes on last night.
Yeah.
We had a special guest on the day before, which the public will hear about tomorrow or the following day, very soon.
Yeah.
That was an amazing one. We're we're networking again on Twitter with Abby. So that was good. So there's another little clue there. But yes, it's been good. It's been a positive week, mate. It's been a positive week. Only 2 days graft this week. So another week off. So it's all winning.
There we go. As you duly mentioned there, that you know we've had quite a few guests on this week. One to come very soon, and you know the ones
the name as well this week, haven't you? You've been on the old Selk. I enjoyed that. You know, I enjoyed that. I like that podcast. That's a quality podcast.
Yeah, shout out to Andrew as well, and all the other contributors that are on this week as well. Very thoroughly enjoyed that as well. And shout out to all the other podcasts that are starting up and creating their content as well. Shout out to you guys as well. So
yeah, there's some ones out there, isn't there? There's some ones coming on there. You got Cole and Sean with theirs.
Yeah.
We've got Darren Manning and Brett Munyard from White Ensign. I'm looking forward to seeing that one tomorrow night.
Yeah.
They've got Adam Drew on there, so that one's coming out tomorrow night. But yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it. I'm loving it. I got Jake's got Jay Harvey coming on. He's one tomorrow as well, so that'll be good. I'll make Jay. So that's a good one. That'll be a good one.
There we go. I'm seeing, you know,
Big Johnny Fish on in the background. So
shout out to Johnny as well. Good luck to you as well. Got the good luck message from Jubes himself and a few other well wishers. So hopefully it's a easy night's work for him, should I say? So
hopefully, mate.
Yeah, who we got on this week then?
Right, so we have got Louis Steele and Frankie Holder from Ryan FC under 12s. They're doing something amazing at the moment. They should be very proud of themselves. Their family should be very proud of them. But I'll let them tell their story. So I won't give too much away. Then we got Craig Heskey, another Heskey.
Come on. Who could give you 2 Heskies in a month?
I think this one's going to get more views as well, to be fair. and then we've got Billy Jones, mate. He's a non-league legend. Everyone loves Bill.
Non-league legend and Twitter legend as well. You know, very outspoken to say the least. So I hope he keeps that same energy when he comes on.
Yeah, he loves it, mate. He loves it. So it's going to be good. I'm excited about it tonight. I've got a few people have tweeted today that they're going to be watching. Andre Thomas just put a tweet out. So thanks, Andre. Glad that you're going to be tuned in tonight. Got a lot of respect for you, mate. So yeah, it's going to be a good one, hopefully.
Awesome stuff. And if you're listening in as well, please make sure, as always, join in with the conversation as well. That's part of the reason why we put it out live, so you can join in with the chat. Don't be afraid to ask questions as well. Obviously, if you want to sit back and listen, by all means, but you know, we want this to be as interactive as possible, and obviously engage with our guests as well. And also make sure you share it and like it as well and comment. So, yeah. So I think we've got our first set of guests waiting in the background. You ready, boys? Yep. Get the thumbs up, big smiles. So we're going to bring him in, Louis and Frankie. How we doing?
Good.
Right, boys.
Yeah. You alright?
Yeah, you tired, aren't you? I bet you're tired.
I'm not that tired. Very.
It's Saturday night, Bill. You're on about tired. It's Saturday night. They can do whatever. Well, I'll say they can do whatever. I mean, you can do some things. Obviously,
they just done 11.5 miles from Leyton to the Emirates.
Of course. That's the reason why it's tired. I thought it's because you're tired because it's Saturday night. No, it's no clubbing, lads, is there? No clubbing.
So, Louis, Frankie, good to have you on. Obviously, I've read a lot about what you've been doing. Spoke to your dad. He got in touch with me a couple of weeks ago. It's inspiring what you're doing, and I'm going to let you tell people the story of how you got started, mate.
Okay, you want to start? Yeah. Okay, so we was out one day just on a run, and then we just came across it because we was doing a 6 miler. Just came across the idea of running for a charity. So then we just got in touch with them. We just started doing it to raise awareness for young minds.
That's amazing because you had a bit of your uncle. Unfortunately, lost your uncle Kirk, and that's obviously played a part in you doing this as well. So that's for someone so young, the pair of you, it's amazing what you're doing, and I keep saying it, like how proud you should be. I don't even know you, and I'm proud of you. So, Frankie, how did you get involved?
I was on the run with him, and I just came up with the idea of Young Minds. The thing that inspired me was the charity match between the Sidemen and YouTube All Stars, and they raised quite a lot. And I thought that Young Minds was a very important thing for mental health as well. So we decided on them. And also because mental health deals with like older people, not as much as young kids. So we just came across this thing because during this pandemic, it's really hard for young kids to get help.
Yeah. Well, I've never even heard of Young Minds, so I thank you as well for introducing me to that. I've read a lot about that. I made a little donation today. I hope that's put somewhere, goes somewhere to get into. I know you've smashed your target as well already, haven't you?
What was the target, boys?
Sorry?
What was the target in terms of
500 to start with.
Wow.
100 and now we're on to 2,250.
Wow. Listen, congratulations.
So anyone that's watching, obviously I'll put out the tweet. We'll put out the link to the tweet after this as well. So if any of you can donate, you can donate as little as a £5. I think you can donate as little as £1. But if any of you can donate, it's an amazing thing that the boys are doing. So yeah, every little helps. So tell us about the football side of the pair of you.
He plays in the lower team. I play in the first team. He plays in second. He's in the second division. I'm in the Premier Division, like the one below him. The one below the Premier he plays for. I play for the Prem.
You say that a couple times. Just make sure that he's the one below you.
Yeah. And we really like the club. It's a great environment. The coaches there are really good. And the person that coaches me is Neil. He's a really good coach. And the person who coaches me is my dad. Yeah. And also I have a trainer for the team called Dave Bricknell, and he trained Harry Kane when he was younger.
Wow.
Dave Bricknell, is he any good? I've never heard of Dave Bricknell before.
Yeah, he's a really good coach.
We love Dave. I love Dave. He's a fantastic coach. So what positions do you both play?
I play left back. I play centre back, centre forward.
Nice. And is it you? When do you think you're going to be breaking into the Premier side, the first team?
Don't know. Might not, because my dad coaches the team and he's just a great coach. He helped me along the way.
Is he right next to you, pinching you to say that?
No.
Let's get you back. Let's get your dad in the background. Get your dad in the background. Stand behind her.
Come on in, Bill.
Go on, get involved. Come on, Pop.
Is he in his pants?
Come You right?
There he is.
How you doing, Billy? Right?
Yeah, good, mate. How proud are you, these two?
Aye, unreal, Bill. What they've done, yeah, just on their own minds, yeah, just to set themselves a little target, try and raise awareness and money for a great charity. Because in this current climate, mate, kids are doing not a lot, you know what I mean? But they're raising awareness. I think the most important thing is that what they're trying to tell kids, just put your running shoes on, go and run. Do you know what I mean? If you're sitting indoors, run, playing on the Xbox, this and that, put your running shoes on, go and do a 5 miler, don't go and do a 3 miler, do you know what I mean? Just let the mind free.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's inspiring what they're doing. So you're obviously aware of the players that have come out of Ryan. There's a lot of players that have come out of Ryan and gone into professional clubs. Is that an ambition of both of yours?
Yeah, dream. Yeah, very much. Yeah.
I think Billy, with Ryan though, it's such a great club, you know, the community side of it and stuff like that, you know, it's unreal what they do there for everybody.
Yeah. And obviously it's not the be all and end all of getting, obviously the boys are at a young age now. Obviously it's staying at Ryan now they go all the way up to a first team now, don't they? And I know that they're attached to Walthamstow as well.
Yeah, they're linked with Walthamstow at the moment, which is a great stuff. What they're just done at that place, unreal, mate, to be fair.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But they're linked with Walthamstow and that. There's a pathway there for kids who might not make it professionally, but the grassroots side of it, you know what I mean? That pathway there to even get to Walthamstow, playing non-league, whatever it is, mate, is still enjoy your football and enjoy it basically, do you know what I mean?
Where it rolls in, the guests that we've got on tonight leads into it really. We've got Craig Heskey on after, who's academy coach under 15s at Leyton Orient, and one after that is Billy Jones, he played for Walthamstow, and they love him over there. So it all ties in nicely tonight.
Yeah, it's mad that though with Billy Jones, yeah, because Louis done they asked us Walthamstow when Richards first tied in with Ryan FC and Walthamstow, they asked us to go over there for the to do mascots for the FA Cup game, one of the first FA Cup games. And Louis went over there with Billy Jones and that when he was playing in that FA Cup tie. Unreal, just for the boys to have that feeling. He was on there with the mascots, had the Ryan kit on. It's a non-league game, but an FA Cup tie. It was unreal, mate.
It's a mad coincidence, isn't it?
Hey?
I said that's a mad coincidence that we're all on the same show tonight.
He's on tonight. Yeah, he's on tonight. When I see the tweet the other day that you put out there, I thought, wow, how mad's that? He's on there tonight. When I think it was back in August last year, September, wasn't it? Yeah. They were being mascots for him.
Yeah.
Right, boys, I've got to ask a question. This is a crucial question as well. Who do you support? Who do the boys support?
Man U, West Ham.
Yeah, Billy, get them off. Their time's done. Their time's done.
Who do you support? Yeah, that's the question.
No, you don't need to know that. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know that. It's all right.
Yeah, so
it is. I bet it's Arsenal.
Nah, you'll never guess. You'll never guess. It's fine.
Have you got any messages for any of your school friends or anyone that you haven't seen for a little while?
My school friends are in here right now.
Say that again.
I think a couple of my school friends are in here right now watching me.
Yeah, you got Freddie Yarwood.
Yeah, Freddie Yarwood. Yeah, he goes to Lewis School. Yeah.
Scott as well. Scott Pickleday. I know he's one of the coaches over Ryan.
Am I right in thinking Ryan's the team that works with BTs? Did they do some stuff from BTs? Is that right?
Yeah, yes. On YouTube, I think there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct.
They do some videos with the older lot. Like the
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool.
So you got any last minute messages, any last minute shout outs you want to give?
To the young kids.
Shout out to your mums.
Yeah, shout out to my mum and dad. And just for the young kids out there, just to reach out. Yeah. Just to do anything, just to go out for a run, clear your mind, anything. Whatever. There's loads of help out there for people. Yeah, and also just try and if you can just donate because it's all going to a good cause as well. So yeah, we're getting on with the money.
No, it's going to an amazing cause. Boys, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing your story. Well done for what you're doing. I hope you raise so much more money.
Very thankful.
No problem at all. Well done, boys. Be proud.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye. Nah, that's superb. Love them two boys, man.
Brilliant. So it was like talking to two young men.
Yeah. They're so well spoken, you know, doing stuff for a good cause as well. Superb stuff. I really.
Hey, I got distracted then. Johnny Fisher's nearly banged this guy.
Stay focused, man. Come on, stay focused.
In my right eye, it's like he's just going to town on him, mate.
Listen, Johnny Fisher will do what Johnny Fisher needs to do. Don't worry about it.
He's going to come over. 10 seconds. 10, 9. He's going to. Oh yes, it's done. It's done.
You know you got to show me right here. You know that, right? You know. Just letting you know. God, the professionalism.
So that was it's all finished. Round 1. Johnny Fisher, bang, well done.
Dustin, mate.
So I can relax now. That's all done.
Once again, shout out to both of the boys that just came on as well. Superb work and superb ethics. And like Covey said, again, you can find the links obviously in the description. We'll retweet it after the show as well. And donate what you can. They've already smashed their target of 500 quid, up to £2,000 now as well. And like they said, they're doing great stuff for charity as well. So just
read their description of why they're doing it as well. It's quite touching. It's just nice. So just if you can donate anything, you know, just dip your hand in.
Indeed. Just for people that are listening in via Twitter, we are now going to say goodbye to you. But again, obviously, you can continue watching the show via the YouTube link. You'll be able to find it on one of our accounts. So I'm just going to say goodbye to you, but make sure you follow us on to
YouTube. Come over to YouTube.
Exactly that. So obviously we've got a couple more guests, but we've now got some time to just speak in general about some things. We can talk about Mr. Savage now. Obviously he crops up quite a lot, doesn't he? You know, especially in terms of grassroots. And now obviously he's putting out his positive messages, especially this week, to try and get young kids back involved in grassroots. But I often think that adults get overlooked in his messages within grassroots because they do as well count towards grassroots football. I don't know what your thoughts on it is in terms of that. Like, I know children should, in some people's eyes, be the priority, but at the same time, you know, we are at home and we are the ones, I say we, parents, adults, are going to be taking these kids to these sessions when they start back. So wouldn't it make sense to take them back at the same time? I don't know. That's just my way of thinking. Yeah,
I think same time. Listen, my take on this whole thing at the moment is just go back when it's totally safe to go back. If it means we're not going to go back and complete this season, just so be it. You know, just so be it. Because can you imagine going back again for a third time, and then it stops again because a month or a month and a half time. The rate goes up again, and then we have to go back into it'd be farcical. And then you'll have more people walk away from football if it happens a third time than you've ever seen in your life, because it would just be a shambles. And to be honest, I don't. If our league was to obviously you got step 2 of gone now, yeah, they've said no, we're not playing anymore, so that's null and void. You got step 3 to 6. Apparently, they're going to have a meeting after Boris's announcement on Monday to decide what they're going to do. And then 7 and below have said that they might extend the season till June. I won't go back.
It's pointless going back because look, we're in February now. By the time, I mean, we're not going to come back straight away, are we? Let's face it. So by the time we get back and everything else is in place, we're going to be in March. Let's face it. It's just pointless to go back. For me, you know, null and void the season that should have been done ages ago, and then probably start back a bit earlier and then go from there. But you know, sometimes
I totally understand why people want to go back, but you can't go back to how we was before when teams were getting changed in the car park. You weren't allowed in the bar
No.
The club wasn't really allowed to make any money. You had to get sometimes you had to get changed in a dugout, and it's like, seriously, you seriously want to go back to that just so you can just? I just don't get it. I really don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'll just think, right, no one void it. If you want to do points per game, listen. If I get the team I manage now, if we get relegated on whatever for whatever reason on points per game or whatever, I don't think we will. But if we did, then I don't care. I'll just try and get promoted again I'll just try and get promoted again when the season starts again. If that's what it's got to take to just go back to football when it's 100% safe and and there's no more risk to management teams, staff, physio, players, bar takings. Because when these games are on, the clubs have still got to operate. Some of them have still got to pay for floodlights. They've got to pay for staff. They've got to clean the place after. So you're burning money away. And I just think it's just go back when it's safe to go back. I know there's going to be a lot of people disagree with me, but hopefully there'll be some that will agree with me. And that's my stance on it. I won't go back. If our league says we can go back next week, I won't be going back. My club can go back, but I won't be going back.
Look, we've got to look at some of the positives, which is, we're in a better position now than we were when we went into lockdown 3. I don't know how many millions of people have been vaccinated now, but obviously a lot more than when we first started. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's happened. So we're in a progressive state, but at the same moment in time, like, I just don't think this the season to start a season or start back a season when so few games were played in people's seasons. I know there's people that have been only played like 2 games or so in their season. What's the point? Like, null and void the season, have a bunch of friendlies, start their next season a bit earlier. At least people are going to be outside now. And, all the people tweeting that we want football back, football will be back as long as they do it, in a suitable manner. I don't know how you're going to ease it back in because let's face it, as soon as you go, we're back, as much as you're going to try and phase it in, everyone's going to be like, yo, we're going back, we're playing 11 aside anyway. You know what I mean? You
see people breaking the law, I'm not going to say they're breaking the law, okay, because I know some of this stuff is advisories from the government. It's advisories. We advise you not to do this. We advise you not to do that. But you see people not sticking to social distancing, meeting with other households. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then you're trying to preach that you want football back. It's like, come on, what do you want? Just help. It's like the old, what is it, Jerry Maguire? Help me, help you. It's like, come on. You got to give a little bit back. You can't just, you can't just say, right, I want football back, but I'm going to do whatever I want. But I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm not going to stick to any guidelines. I'm just going to do whatever I want. But please bring football back because I'm getting depressed. Come on.
Which one is it? I mean, look, people that are listening in, it would be interesting to get your thoughts on it. I understand if you want to stay silent on it, but I'm sure there's people in the comment section that want to talk about it. So again, let us know your thoughts as well. We've got our next guest waiting in the wings, so we're going to bring him in, Mr. Craig Heskey. How are you doing, sir?
How's it going, guys?
Well, mate, second Heskey of the month. We're going to slide him over to the middle, or we're going to have a little Heskey sandwich?
Oh yes, here we go. Look, so we've discovered this now.
Man of the hour.
There we go. Man in the middle as well. There he is.
Heskey sandwich.
Absolutely.
So did you listen?
Sandwich out there.
Did you listen to the 2 boys just now?
No, I haven't. I've only just tuned in
the background. So you got a couple of boys at Ryan FC. They're doing a charity walk, and they're just talking about. I know you're big on it as well. Like, they're talking about mental health in young footballers. So they're playing under 12s at the moment. I know you're involved with under 15s and academy level players. So that's obviously going to be close to your heart, that subject. Yeah, and it's probably got to be something that you're very, you're hot on.
Yeah, it's a thing where with young people, when it comes to things like mental health, it's something that's not necessarily taken seriously. People just think, as long as they go and play something, that they're all right. As long as they're, I don't know, talking to friends, they're okay. Not necessarily looking into the situation of these guys are human beings, and there's so much they're exposed to now, in particular. compared to when I was younger, just go and play outside and everything might just be all right. Whereas now they seek friendships through online, they seek friendship through playing, going to school, socializing, and all of a sudden, all of that's gone. Like the whole thing is gone. Even going to school is a problem now. And for them, it's like, where do they get some form of balance? You know what I mean? And you then realize how much one playing sport or just being around and socializing with people, doing normal things, means so much to their growth as human beings as well. So it's something that's very, very difficult. And I've had to, especially with the players at Orient, we've had to sit down with some of the parents and saying, how are you finding it? Like, how are they? You know, you're the ones that see them every day and they're forced in front of a screen to supposedly learn somehow. And they're told to, just sit in front of the screen and do this assignment, do this particular task, and can't do normal things. And it's difficult for them, especially when they're now going through that stage of beginning to find out who they are and who they're going to become. So it's a very difficult situation for everybody involved, not just the kids, but again, they're the next generation.
So with the age group that you're dealing with as well, not every young person has access to parents that are going to be bringing them to you and bringing them to training. And there's going to be kids that are struggling at home, but then they're trying to get their way to football, and that's all they've got. Like you say, that's all they've got, and now they've got nothing. So they're actually still in your care. So how do you deal with it? How do you keep them motivated?
So what we do at the club at the moment is probably the same football clubs across the country. Is we engage with them every single day, pretty much. Their timetable hasn't changed in the sense of they've still got contact with the club as they would have done if there was training. So they're still doing S&C sessions. They've still got homework, tasks they've been given to do, i.e. getting certain technical ball work done, get it on video, send it into, we have an app called My Coach app. So they then go on there, upload their videos. So they're still doing things, but again, they're missing that social interaction, being around coaches, being around their teammates. And this is the only way at the minute that we can technically get them to do anything without breaking any sort of rules. It's been quite fortunate for the older age groups, so the under 18s, since they're classed as elite, they're allowed to still train throughout. So their timetable hasn't really changed in that sense. But again, it's been difficult for them because of COVID restrictions. They can't be at the same time the first team are in, and they've got to train at different times now. And all of these sort of different variations to what they're normally used to has now changed. And we're just trying our hardest to keep everyone in the loop as much as we possibly can, knowing that we are still here, we're still working. It's not our time off and we'll get back to things when Boris says we can. We're still keeping them involved in the program somehow. But again, I know what we're doing isn't enough. Because at the end of the day, they want to be on the grass, they want to be playing. And it's such a difficult situation for every single person involved, and it's frustrating as well.
Craig, just before you came on, me and Covey was just talking about, the season being null and void and when we can come back. I don't know what your thoughts are in terms of when we come back, if we should come back, the protocols around it. Should it be children back first, adults second, or phased in sort of thing? What's your thoughts on it? Because obviously we're in the thick of it right now.
It's very hard to say, to be honest, because everybody's suffering. I mean, if we chuck everybody back in it and then we get the same issue we had before, we're going to be locked up again. So we have to find some form of balance. I think it has to be the kids first because they're just missing out on too much. And especially when they are, as we said before, next generation, they're the ones growing to keep the world continuing. And if they're not doing the normal things or anywhere close to it, we're going to have a generation that's going to be brought up in a completely different fashion to what we would deem as the norm. So for me, it'll probably have to be them first. Getting them into some sort of structure again, whether it is drop your kids to the game as an example, sit in the car or sit in the parking area until the game's done, whatever they need to do in order to make it a safe environment for all, but giving those young people the opportunity to go and do those normal things. I mean, I think we can only go around what schools are doing. If the schools are not allowing the kids in, then nothing else can happen. It's like everything's got to be at a standstill from that. So it all stems from how schools then manage it for then allowing the kids to then go out and being able to do extracurricular activities. But I think it has to start from them. I mean, a lot of adults are struggling too. But I'm pretty sure I can speak for most adults. Once we're out, we want to be out and that's it. We're restricted and we're going to go back again if this happens. And we'd rather be out knowing that we are free to then now do all the things we used to do. Even if it is under some form of restriction to start with, obviously people would work with that. But you don't want to be in a situation where we go back to, let's say, what month, like October, November, where everything is slowly getting back to normal, but cases are rising, and then December comes, everything's gone again, and it's just like, what was the point of that? So for me, yeah, it have to be a stepping stone, but I think you'll have to start from the kids first for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much the point I sort of made. I think you've got to go back when it's totally close to do so. Because, you know, people moan about like players, you know, players will have enough. If it goes again, you'll lose players. Players will walk away from the games, things like that. But what about coaching? Obviously, you're a young coach in age. You obviously got a long future ahead of you. But what about you? So if we went back say they say we can go back next month, and like you say, in 2 months' time, we're done again. That's the third time. So who motivates the motivator? You're a motivator. You motivate your academy players. If that was to happen again, who's motivating you to want to stay with that again? It's
a good question. I always find that we have to be our own motivators. We have to be the ones that lift us. If we're then relying on others to lift us, is what we're going to do next. That's relying on something else in order to get us going. I try to stay positive as much as I can in any situation, because I always look at life in the sense that someone out there has it worse off than me. So yeah, there's a stop and start, but I'm doing okay. You know what I mean? And looking at it in that sense. And it's true. It's hard, because when it comes to keeping myself motivated, one thing that keeps me motivated is being the young people themselves. It's them. If I don't do this for them, I can't expect anything from them in that respect. So especially when you get those that are from very deprived areas, and again, as you said earlier on, about not having access to parents that are going to guide them and actually ask them how they're feeling, how is life, and how are you taking this, and how's school. And when you don't have that sort of interaction, sometimes coaches and staff at school is all they've got. So it's within my nature now that I have to be that sort of person that does that. So I take it upon myself to make sure that I'm motivated to motivate others around me.
So do you provide players with equipment such as laptops, iPads, anything like that, so they can communicate to you? Because obviously, growing up when I was younger, the youngsters at Orient was from East London, and mainly from East London, from Hackney, and you know, we didn't have sort of disposable incomes like that could afford to go and buy a laptop and things like that. So do you provide that sort of care as well for your players?
Yeah, as a club, that's what we do. So my role isn't just to be a coach. My main role is actually head of education. So I look after everything from education and life skills background. And yeah, we literally offer that to all players. I mean, it was maybe 2 weeks ago now, me and the academy manager, we sat on Zoom calls for about 3 hours, relaying the same message, but all to the different age group parents in terms of how are you, how are the boys, how are you coping with working from home and having the boys educated, and you having to play a big part in that, as well as raising their sibling as well and keeping them occupied in the normal day. And we literally sat on 3 hours relaying that same message throughout each of the groups. And we said, look, if there's anybody that's struggling, you let us know. We will help in any way that we can possibly do so. So yeah, we have iPads and stuff like that that we produce to players that need it, that need that extra electronics to be able to get on with their schoolwork and get to interact with others as well. So it's something that we do try our hardest to keep them all engaged for certain.
Craig, what about you? I heard you can play a bit. What about you?
I can kick a ball. I can just about kick a ball. No,
listen, you can't have the and then be like, nah, I can kick a ball, man. Listen, you can't rock it with pride. Come on.
I heard he was coming Swifts.
Well, you know, if Swift comes knocking on the door, then I'm going to be there. This is how it works, you know. But yeah, so for me, I've played non-league pretty much the most of my life, to be honest. So especially for a youth career. So I was at Grays Athletic as a youngster from under 15s to 16s. So during that particular period, I'm 30 now, they were top of the tree in terms of National League South and going into the National League Prem when he had all that money and everything was flying for them trying to get into the Football League. So I was fortunate enough to be around that sort of setup in the beginning. From then on, I went on to Thurrock, had a little stint at Avery as a youth player as well. Then, yeah, pretty much had my senior career pretty much through where clubs I've been at. You can imagine, non-league, you've been everywhere you've had you. You had 2 appearances here, 30 minutes somewhere else. And yeah, so the last club I was at Kent Football United just before lockdown 1. I played 2 games for them just before lockdown had hit. At that particular point, I weren't really playing football too tough simply because I was trying to find a balance between working and then going to Leyton Orient in the evenings and then still trying to play football and then going back to work the next morning. And I was finding it a bit difficult, and I was telling myself I don't really enjoy it that much no more anyway. And then lockdown hits, then I realised how much I was lying to myself. So yeah, and I've been at a few clubs. So Clapton, Burnham Ramblers. That's the last couple of clubs I've been at. Erith and Belvedere as well. So I've been around. Under 20s for Antigua. So that's probably been my highlight. So I played international football. So I've done that. It was a long road to get me there. I remember having to write a letter to my head of sixth form because I went to a Catholic sixth form. They're not letting anyone out. What, for football? Hell no, that ain't happening. So I had to write a letter to her, and she made this impossible task of saying, you must be 3 weeks ahead of everybody if you want to go. Now, I was football mad. You couldn't tell me anything. So if that's what you want from me, I'm going to go and do that. You know, so my teachers, I went to all of them and said, look, I need this work because I'm going to Antigua. I need to go and play. You know what I mean? So got myself in a position where I'd done that. Then I was only out there for 9 days, but it was probably the best experience I've ever had being in any sort of football environment. So that's probably been my highlight. But yeah, I've done a lot of things in the game. And so yeah, I can kick the wall a bit, just a bit.
Where was that game?
Yeah.
So we played in Aruba. So we played against Jamaica, who battered us 4-1. And we played Aruba, who beat us. I think it was 2-1. We were gonna batter them. We started the game. I looked at them like, yeah, we've got them. But then our goalkeeper got sent off in the first 10 minutes, and it was downhill from there. It was like, oh my god! And I think it was my first real taste of being away from home because it was held in Aruba. As soon as they scored, you heard the crowd, and I was like, it's just us. Like, there's no one here for us. It's just us. It really hit us, and yeah, it was a fantastic situation for me to have been in, and I'm glad that I put myself in a position where I could go and do that.
What was the circumstances like? Because I've spoken to a few ex-players that have played, you know, with the Caribbean islands and stuff, and they kind of compare. This is not to be disrespectful to the Caribbean islands, but they kind of compare it to like non-league in a way, like the standards.
Yeah.
Well, now the standard of football and like the facilities and all the rest of it. Obviously,
100%.
But yeah, what's it like?
Yeah, so it's pretty much what you just said. I mean, I think it's on the up now. I think a lot of nations taking a bit of pride in terms of what they have because they're looking for a lot of English-based players to now be a part of their setup. So I have
Michael Johnson.
Regular talks with him. Yeah, I actually had a talk with him. Was it last week? So he came and spoke to the under-18s at Orient last week, and he was telling us about when he was at Guyana and he managed them. And yeah, so the standard itself has pretty much been that sort of level, so non-league sort of standard. But it's something that's growing. So they're sending a lot of players out into America to go and play football over there, and obviously they're bringing that quality back and obviously enhancing what they've got in terms of the islands and getting coaches from abroad as well. So I've been in touch with St. Lucia, who I could be possibly looking to do some sort of bits with them, whether it's coaching, whether it's education stuff. It's something that we're kind of in talks about at the moment. So yeah, it's something that's growing, and it's a good thing to be a part of, especially when it's something that can grow to be something quite big. So it's very good to be a part of it for sure.
How did the Orient thing come around?
It's one of those things, you know, where people say that hard work is always got to be at the forefront of what you do. It is also the luck of the draw as well, 100%. So you don't know who you could bump into and who you might impress on the day. Same thing you can do on a football pitch. You just don't know who's watching. It's the same situation with this. So I've been a teacher by trade. So I've been teaching since 2014. Obviously been a coach. Started coaching before then, but I've moved to a college where, so the boys still have to do education. That's just a part of them being an academy player. They have to do that. So Leyton Orient were in the process of moving their education provider to my college. So so when I was there, I've been told that Leyton Orient are coming in the building, and I said to my assistant principal, I said, look, I want in. I want to be teaching them. I am the only teacher within our PE department that was football orientated. So I said, it's a no-brainer. It's got to be me. You see what I mean? So I've had them. So they've come into the building, met my boss. And I think the moment I had given him my intro, so I did an intro sort of lesson for them, told them about the standards that I expect of them as human beings, as students, as players, etc. I think he was blown away by that. Like, completely blown away. And he said to me, look, here's my number. If you need anything, let me know. So one night, I just thought to myself, you know, let me ask this guy, if I wanted to ever get involved at that sort of level of football, what do I need to do? So I've messaged him. I said, yeah, so if I wanted to coach at this sort of level, what do I need? So he's told me the badges and stuff. Okay, cool. He goes, why? Do you want to do some support work? I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, let's do that. So at the time, I got to the point where the club was quite short on staff. So obviously, this is the point that we're in non-league. So there was all this ties about whether the academy is going to stay open if they don't get promoted. And so I wasn't to know this. I'm just someone that's gone in there blind. I'm just like, okay, this is what it is. So then I just get on with it. Then once the club did get promoted and also all the staff that's come in, then I've realized, oh, wow, the academy was stretched. compared to what's expected. So yeah, from there I've been able to get the opportunity to go in there full time. So the head of education post came up, and I said to my boss, "Look, I want that. Like, what do I need to do? What do you want from me? What do I have to do to have this role?" He said, "You know what? Yeah, cool. Let's do that." So I was gone in there, spoke to him, spoke to Martin Ling as well, and yeah, it's just taken off since then. That's me getting into the professional game.
What did you need out of interest?
So you need to be a UEFA B. That's pretty much the start off point. Is being at UEFA B level,
So
or at least working towards it.
UEFA B follows on from what level two?
Level 2, yeah. Okay. I mean, they can tend to take on staff that are level 2, as long as you're working towards UEFA B, or at least showing that you're of that sort of standard anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go into the game and you can see that badges, yeah, they mean something in terms of being able to get you up the ladder, of course, but in terms of being able to coach, the badge doesn't say much. It's just something that it's a piece of paper. You need it. Same way you can't drive a car without your license. You need that card to say that you can do that. So it's the same thing when it comes to coaching. But yeah, so yeah, it's luck of the draw. It's who you meet, who can get you in and stuff like that. And then obviously for me, fortunate enough for me, kind of fell on my lap.
Yeah. So a lot of obviously you've got a lot of coaches that follow you. We've got a lot of coaches that follow the channel. And some people are like it's quite daunting to go. Like a lot of people have got FAs for 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Like you say, it's not level 1. I think you just got to turn up and you get that. Level 2 is a little bit more, and then but then I think UEFA B. I think everyone's like, "Whoa, UEFA B! I'm not doing that. Like, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to pass that." But tell us, is that how much different is level 2 to UEFA B in terms of workload, knowledge? You know, what's the difference?
The difference for me would be you are now expected to look at not just from a coaching perspective, but also from a managerial perspective as well. So it's not just turn up and put on a practice and that practice looks good and that's that. You've now got to start thinking of how players develop, not just over one session, but over a sequence of sessions. So where's your start point to where's your finish point? See, level 2, you're just, they teach you the knowledge. You're just expected to apply the knowledge on the day, do your 20-minute, 30-minute session. As long as you've applied the knowledge, everything's good. But now it's a situation where you're now going to be tracked over a period of time. So it's not just about that session you put on in September. You want to see the session you've also put in December. So the sequence of what's happened in between. And you have to also be, what's the word I'm looking for, exposed to an 11-a-side team. So you need to be able to show that you can now coach a group of 11-a-side players. So playing in an 11-a-side game. So you also need that access. You can't just be someone that has a session, how can I put it? So say, for instance, you have like a junior session where have a couple of kids come down, maybe 10 kids, and then just put on practices. You now need to have an access to a team where, you're going to have to show some clear progression from start to finish. So it is quite long-winded. So it's probably about a year's piece of work, whereas I think level 2, from what I can remember, it's about 6 months. So there's now 6 extra months involved, but it's all about showing progression throughout, one through your coaching and through the progression of your players.
Yeah.
I've got to address the elephant in the room. The last name, Heskey. Talk to me.
Yeah.
Does it come with a big kind of weight on your shoulders?
Yes, but I think that's self-inflicted by myself. I've put myself in a situation where it's felt like, oh my God, I'm carrying weight. I remember when I originally came across Emil. So my dad called me downstairs once. He goes, "Oh, look, man, what's he calling me for?" I was about 5 years old at the time. He goes, "That's your cousin." So I'm looking on the TV. I'm like, "Oh, wow." Then I see the name on the back. I'm like, "Oh, snap, he's got the exact same name as me." And immediately, this guy's become my hero. He's become the guy I've looked up to throughout my whole life, even up to this day. And yeah, so obviously my family originally from Leicester. So my dad, siblings, all Leicester born. But then my granddad brought our side of the family down to London, which is why you got so many Heskies running around North East London now. And so going through my football career, I can't tell anyone, "What's your name?" "My name's Craig." By the time I play the game, "My name's Heskey." It just literally just changes. I remember being in Ilford with my dad once when I was younger, and obviously see one of my boys from school. "Yeah, Heskey, man, what's good? What's good?" My dad looks at me like, "Why is he calling you Heskey?" I'm just like, "Listen, it just comes with, you know what I mean? What it is." And it's a name that's definitely carried its weight for me, especially for football, playing it as well. So I used to be someone that kind of took on the name and thinking, okay, you know what, like people are going to look at me in a certain way, etc. When it isn't really that, it's taking me to become an adult and think it's just your name. Carry it, do what you got to do on the pitch and in life, and it is what it is. So it's definitely something that's carried its weight for certain. But again, when you grow up, it's just something I was born with. It is what it is.
Did you try and play like him as well?
One period in my life I did. I'd say maybe from the time I turned 17. So I was at Thurrock. Wasn't for me to understand at the point. So my manager was very big on you play my back to goal, run the channels, get the ball down and play it. And I was the person that ran it behind all the time. That was what I was on. Obviously, I guess I haven't really grown in stature since then. So I can understand why, as an adult, why you wanted me to play like that. Then I went through periods just wanting to be a bully on the pitch. I thought, okay, yeah, I want to be that person that holds off defenders and shows them they can't get the ball off me. So I've gone through periods in my life where I've done that, but then I've kind of pulled myself away from it as well. So I've had moments. There's definitely been moments where I've wanted to be just like him in terms of playing the game. But again, I didn't match him in terms of height, 5'11", rather to his 6'2". So it was never an easy task to do. But yeah, it was something that played its role in my career for sure.
I think you're quicker.
100%. I told Alex McLeish that as well. I went to go and watch him quite a few times when he was at Villa, and I remember meeting Alex McLeish, and he said to me, "Oh, who are you with?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm with Emil," and he's like, "Okay." I was so what can you play? I said, "Yeah, I'm better than him. Yeah, 100%." And he's like, "Oh, okay, we'll get you in for pre-season." I'm like, "Yeah, cool. Say no more. Say no more." And then comes around, he gets sacked, and I'm like, "Oh, well, it is what it is." Mate. But yeah, there's a little bit of
opportunity you said about earlier.
Exactly. Come on, you got to see this.
100%.
So what? So obviously, when players, I want to ask you how you deal with players that don't quite make it. So obviously, you get to the end. They get to the end of their time, under 15s or under 16s, and then the ones that ain't offered an apprenticeship or a scholarship, and you just tell them that they're surplus to requirements. What happens then with them?
So players get given their CVs, so they're able to then take it to other clubs. Some do get recommended to other clubs because the way the game works, especially within academy level, isn't just about bin you off and you're gone kind of thing. You may not just be what the club's looking for, but another club might need someone like you. So you get to see that a lot of players, you might know some yourself, that tend to have been around clubs, and it's not because they're just not good enough and they're passing them on. It's just some clubs are just looking for certain things, depending on what the first team are after, or what the scholar group is, what needs, and stuff like that. So they go through the CV. I've again put on a workshop recently where I've taught them about non-league. So that's something I've been quite big on this season. I've brought into players. As an educator, let me start thinking outside the box a little bit in regards to what they learn. I can teach them curriculum stuff, but that's what the government want me to do. But let me do the outside of the box stuff. So non-league's been the big thing that I've been speaking to the boys about. So a couple of weeks ago, I've done a presentation to them about alternative pathways and knowing what you could possibly do next. So if Leyton Orient say no, doesn't mean Swansea say no. Doesn't mean that I don't know, the likes of West Ham say no, or Scunthorpe. You don't know, because it all depends on what teams are looking for. So we looked at like college programs, again making them aware of what's good and what's not. So what college programs work for you in terms of progressing you? What college programs might possibly just look at you as someone that you're just on our books with no real progression. So yeah, just giving them a bit of insight in terms of what they could possibly do next, and knowing that the door is never closed, and also giving them examples of players that have been knocked back and had to take different routes to get to where they wanted to go to, whether it's in the Football League or the Premier League. So they know that's not an impossible task.
Yeah. Is there anything that Craig Heskey would change about your industry at your level?
100%. It would be care package for players. It would be about maybe not just care package as such, but I think also people not looking at footballers as just robots. We've all had those tendencies where we see a player on the screen and think, "Oh, why has he not done this?" Or "Why doesn't he go to training?" Or "Why is he late?" Without ever knowing who they are. They are humans, and we tend to forget that. And for me, I just think that package for players is important. So knowing that, one, they are also being educated through the game. So whilst they're playing. So Emil, Stan Petrov, they've come and speaking to my boys again 2 weeks ago. So they run an organisation called Player for Player that pretty much are looking to bridge the gap, which is educating players about not just about handling finances, but how to be an all-rounded individual and coping with the off-the-field stuff. They make it clear that they're not agents; they're just here to guide players throughout their careers, whether they're young, whether they're in the middle of it, or whether they're at the end, because they know countless people that's gone through their careers and then they finish and stuck, don't know what to do next, don't know what sort of stuff they're actually good at. So they've looked at bridging the gap. And I remember sitting on the call with Stan Petrov, and he was questioning me. He's like, "So what do you do for your boys?" I was like, "Oh, so you ever cover stuff like racism?" And he said, "Oh, 100%." I said, I've talked to them about non-league and why it's important that they go out and learn their trade. We've done presentations on how they should use their social media, knowing that they are public figures. You want to be a footballer, so think like one. You're now a public figure, so it's okay to have 2 accounts. One for just you and your friends that you put on private, so you can do whatever you want, and one that's for the public eye. So when I said all that stuff to him, he was like, "Yeah, this guy gets it." But he said he spoke to a few clubs and a lot of the bigger clubs as well, not mentioning any names. And he said he's asked them like, "Look, don't you ever deliver stuff on life skills, this, that, and the other?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "Why?" He goes, "It's just something we don't do." So that gap is there for me. I mean, it's something that I had as theory of, I think that's what the case is. But Emil, they both confirmed it. Like, yeah, this is a real thing. There's a massive gap in terms of educating players throughout their journeys. Because players make mistakes, of course, but people see this thing of because they have money, everything's okay. So we look at Ravel Morrison, because he's earning money, he's at Man United, his life skills are going to be brilliant. And no, it don't work like that. They're human beings. We're all working men here now. So if someone offers us 20K to go and work somewhere else, we're going to work somewhere else. We'll take that 20K extra, no problem. And we'll go and work harder. But once that money becomes normal to us, our normal behavior resumes. It's just a part of us being human. And people forget that when it comes to footballers, we pay him 120K a week. So he's just going to turn up on time, or he's just going to have the social issues or social problems that he's had in the background sort out. No. If it's something that's been stemmed since young, you can't just click your fingers, get some money in, and everything changes. There has to be a process, which isn't done enough for players. A lot of players can tend to get lost in the system, which is why I go above and beyond for my lot. So I've always protected them on the sense of, especially under 18, prepare for the next step. Always have options. Speak to your agent about possible 23s that you can possibly join. Look at non-league options. Say, look, this is the sort of level I want to play at. Can they go and find you a club that does that? Gary Hooper's gone and done it. Yeah, he's gone and played in the Premier League. Started off playing for Grays after getting released by Tottenham. Then playing in the Ryman level, the National League South, the National League Prem, and then going on with his career. Like, these things are real. It happens. Yeah, so give yourself the best possible options. When it comes to your education, get it done. You don't know what can happen tomorrow. I know there's a young lad, I don't know his name, that's had his career cut short. It's like Peterborough, I don't know his name. I actually came across him yesterday.
Yeah,
so again, I think it was a clash of heads, and all of a sudden can't play the game again. It's done. And it's just like, wow, one incident, one decision has completely changed one person's outlook on life and his journey. So it's about protecting yourself at all times. So I just think, clubs as a whole has always got to be about protecting their players whilst they're in their care, not just seeing them as assets. It's, you do good for me and that's it. What about the other stuff? What about if they have life skills that they need to focus on and need to improve, whether it's being on time, whether it's handling their money, those little things like that, guiding them to the right people to help them with that for sure, would be the thing that I would want to change in the game, which I'm currently working on in a minute.
Yeah.
I love that. Craig, thank you very much for your time, bro. It's been a joy to listen to all your views. I feel like we've got through a lot in the short space of time that we've had you on. But
100%.
Really appreciate you coming on, man.
No, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be here.
So insightful. It's been good to have you share some of the stuff that I've learned. I've learned some stuff off you tonight, and I'm hoping that the viewers have learned some stuff as well, mate. But I wish you all the
to help each other out.
So, wish you all the luck in the world, mate, with your journey into coaching and your UEFA A or your pro license, whatever comes next for you.
Whatever comes next, yeah.
Your Bishop Stortford Swift career that starts soon as well.
give me that WhatsApp. That's Akin Fema said, give me the WhatsApp call. I'm there.
Craig, just before you start off, where can people find you as well?
So you can find me on Instagram or on Twitter at Craig Heskey, straight government name there. So find me on that. Happy to talk to coaches, people that want a bit of advice. I've had a couple of clubs reach out about that as well. If you want me to deliver anything in regards to educating your players about non-league and the journeys that they can take through it or into the pro game, happy to help in any way I can. So so at Craig Heskey, either on Instagram or Twitter.
Top man. Well done, mate.
Thank you very much, bro.
No worries. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Top man.
Rest of your evening.
Take care.
Bye-bye. There we have it, Craig Heskey. Already we've got someone in saying, shout out to Daniel saying, great interview, guys. And I totally agree. I was just there in kind of in awe in a bit. Do you know what I mean? Not
I just wanted to learn. I'm thinking like, what can I learn next?
Exactly that. I never looked into it that sort of ways. And obviously, if he's speaking to the likes of obviously his cousin Emil and Stan Petrov about player care and all the rest of it, that's sort of the things that people need to bear in mind. Obviously, when you're thrusted in front of the public eye like that, people seem to think, because they're on 120k a week or whatnot, they're meant to do that. And I've been guilty of it. I'm sure you have and other people listening as well. But at the same time, like you said, you kind of hit that sort of same standard once you're at that level. And how do you kind of improve upon that? Even the little things like having 2 accounts, do you know what I mean? One for your mates and then one for the public eye, because anything that you say, will get scrutinized. So yeah,
it's nice as well that he's following he follows the government curriculum and his own. He's adding his own little twist to his education program at Orient, which is good. Because players need to know what happens in the real world in non-league when they come out and start playing men's football. It's not all nicey nice.
Exactly. Now we definitely need more Craig Heskeys in the world. And like he said, again, if you want to get in contact with him, follow him on Twitter, Instagram, pretty much straightforward by the sound of it, Craig Heskey, and then you can obviously find out more details from the man himself. Now, on to our third and final guest. I see him waiting in the wings. I love seeing his Twitter rants as well. Often
It's gone 9 o'clock.
He's about to go 9 o'clock, so he's got a couple of minutes. So if he wants to hold fire till the watershed to get his F words and curse words out, it's just a couple more minutes.
No, I'm blind, man.
But yeah, as I said before, I look forward to his Twitter rants. Hopefully, we might get some on here as well. But let's bring him in. The man, the myth, the legend, Billy. Joe, how you going?
Billy boy.
Oh,
can you hear you, Bill?
I can hear you.
Right, let me try it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
A little bit, quite faint.
Needs to go in the middle.
I'm useless with this stuff, mate. I've got my missing headphones and I don't even know if they work.
Oh, can hear you now.
Yeah.
I'll use it without. She can hear.
Right. So, Billy, how are you today, sir?
Good, man. You?
Not too bad. How's
your Wi-Fi where you live? All right, or is it 85?
I thought it was just me. I was thinking, what's going on with the Wi-Fi?
Oh, I don't know. I'm in Buntingford, so I'm probably like X amount of miles away from you.
It's frozen. You're frozen, Bill. We can't see you.
Oh gosh. I've been looking forward to this one as well. What's going on? Right, we'll oh, is he back on? No, he's frozen. Let's see if he's back on. Is he with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we're waiting for you to talk.
Yeah, I think it's the Wi-Fi.
Kids is just saying decent internet. That Bill.
You've got kids running in York already, so mate, you're in trouble already. Hopefully we can get through this with communication. Otherwise, we'll have to use smoke signals. But as I was saying, I look forward to your Twitter rants. I see him pop up on my feed all the time. You're a very outspoken guy, so it's great to have you on.
No, thanks, man. The best way to be is just say it how it is.
Exactly that.
I'm a bit concerned about your trim and how you've got one.
Mrs. does it.
Oh,
It's not qualified.
It looks all right.
She's done all right, to be fair.
Yeah.
I won't say it to her.
Yeah, so, Bill, how you doing, mate? How you doing through this lockdown? I know you've been quite outspoken. I know you went quiet for a little while as well. And Twitter's not the same without Billy Jones on it. Just have you back lately. So how you doing, mate?
I've been working for it since March last year. I've been working for it. My job ain't closed or anything. So it's been all right for me. But yeah, I went off Twitter for about a week or two, weren't it?
Do you just need like a social media detox? Is that what you felt? Just like need to have a break?
Yeah, I see some things. I see some people's football judgments, and I'm just like, oh, Joe, what? Sod that. Like, what are they chatting? And I go to say something, but then I'm one of them people. I'm like, let them have their opinion, and don't say. Like, I hate people that say something negative when someone's like someone posts a goal on Twitter, and everyone will be like, oh, keeper should have saved that, and then like, what's the point? Like, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and then I go to say something, and I'm like, what's the point? Because it's just going to cause an argument over Twitter. Where I'd rather have it in person. Not an argument, so to speak.
Put a video of you banging one in the top bins, and then someone says, "Yeah, what about the 10 you missed?"
Yeah.
I'm not going to post them ones, mate.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I see some things. I'm just like, oh fuck, I can't be asked to listen to you anymore.
So your last club you finished up with before lockdown was Saffron Walden. How are you enjoying life over there, mate? You seem happy.
Yeah, it's chilled over there, man. The boys are brilliant as well. The boys make the club. Well, everyone makes the club, but the boys are decent in the changing room. Gaffer's decent. Gaffer even messaged me to make sure everything was right. He messaged me saying everything all right when I went quiet.
Yeah, he's a nice bloke. Nice bloke, Jason.
Yeah. He's one of them I had to play under him to know he was all right, because when I didn't play for him, I thought he was a dick.
Yeah, that's like me. I had to get him on the show to prove that he weren't a dick.
I only started when I played against him.
His shark's bite and all that. His shark's bite on his leg.
I've never even seen that before.
So, Bill, tell us about your early career, mate. And I know obviously there's a big moment during your career at Barking that I'll let you tell everyone about. But where did you won't go back as far as like playing in the park with your friends? Sort of like, where did your proper non-league sort of or professional clubs? Where did it all start?
I've never. No, the closest I ever got to a professional club was I was on trial at Cambridge, and I just turned around and thought, I don't like it. I don't want to go back, so I just went back to playing Sundays. And then I was 17, and Wickers. Do you know Wickers?
Yeah.
He signed me at Waltham Abbey, and I just stayed with him for a while. Got the ump. I'm very stubborn. If I get the ump, I'll leave within. I'm a heat of the moment person. I'll get the ump and I'll leave then.
Yeah.
But, I was at the Abbey, and then don't know where I went after. I've had a few clubs. I might bear in mind.
More clubs than Tiger Woods.
I was going to say that one.
Mate, on the rest. Where did I go? I went Welling Gardens alone. I actually got goals there as well. And I dropped down. I moved to Sorbo. Got goals there. Went to Enfield. Got goals there. I'm just going to say I got goals everywhere I went.
What's your goal scoring record? If you had to put a rough estimate on it.
Honestly, mate, I've had that many clubs I couldn't tell you, and I'll just lose interest halfway through the season.
But on a serious note, what do you put that down to? Like, is it falling out with the management? Is it just kind of losing track of?
I'm stubborn, and I'm a heat at the moment. I act in the heat at the moment.
I don't know. I think you just believe in your values, Bill, didn't you?
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, but I left the club at half time last season.
What?
Yeah, he dragged me in the 40th minute. I think. Well, before half time, he dragged me in like the 35th minute, and I think I was in bed by half time. And I said, already sent a message.
You need to go closer to your ball band box, mate, because we need to hear this properly.
Yeah.
He just subbed me off at 35, and I think I was in bed by half time. Sent a message into the WhatsApp already saying, "Good luck, boys."
Where was this? What club was this?
Walthamstow.
Oh, Walthamstow.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm hearing a lot about Walthamstow, like from these chats.
We were a great club. Great team as well. Young team.
Yeah.
I think I was one of the oldest, and I'm 26. Well, 27 now. I was 26.
Yeah.
But no, it was a decent club. But I think a lot of stuff went. Well, no, I wouldn't say a lot of stuff, but stuff happened behind closed doors, and I thought, if he drags me. I said to James Bransgrove, the goalkeeper, I went, watch this performance. And I think I was walking around for about 35 minutes, not even tracking my runners. Yeah. And he dragged me, and I was like, yeah.
Can you tell us any of these reasons why, or is it mum's the word sort of thing?
I've got a lot of respect for the man, but I can't. I don't have to say who it is, because it could be anyone really. But it was more of a financial thing. I don't play football for money, but every time I've gone to a club, they're saying, "How much do you want?" And I'm like, "Give me whatever." And as long as I'm playing, I don't care. But yeah, I think I was there for 3 months and I got paid twice.
Oh wow!
And it was just it was just the principle. And then I thought, if you're going to pay me that much, I'll give you that much of a performance.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there must be some sort of player to be like people coming to you saying, "How much do you want?" I mean, that's almost like an open checkbook.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not like that. I just turn around and say, "What can you afford? Give me whatever."
Yeah.
But as long as I'm playing, I was playing every game and I was happy. That's why I wasn't fussed about getting paid twice. As long as I was playing, I was cool. And the boys,
you had quite a good record there as well, didn't you? I think you had did you score like 9 in 14 or something like that, or 9 in 12 or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah, I think I played over half the games in holding midfield. That's the thing that I think, because I'm versatile, I basically can play anywhere. I don't think they use it, but I think they just they don't appreciate it as much.
Can I just suggest one thing, Bill? Can I just suggest one thing? Is it possible to get you back on in a second if you move location, like closer to wherever your Wi-Fi box is or whatever? Because we can hear you, but the words are not matching up with like what you're saying, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Give me 2 minutes. I'll try sort of say that.
Cool. All right. Let us know when you're back on. We'll be able to see you like behind the scenes. All right.
Yeah. Sweet.
Cool. All right. For me, it was just bugging me out because I could hear him.
Yeah, same.
But at the same time, like the words were not matching up. But I was hearing that story, and I wanted his other stories. Like,
it needs to be clear, crystal clear.
Yeah. Shout out to Kiernan listening as well. Bill is the worst of the hump. Laugh out loud, seen it firsthand. Shout out to Daniel Drums as well. Saying tell him goal scoring machine #busnet. So again, look, Billy Jones is highly renowned in especially around that area as well. But again, it's got to be crystal clear. When we're getting these stories, I want to be hearing. I want to see the emotion in his face. I don't want to be hearing like audio. Otherwise,
what it is with Bill, right, is I've had so many private chats with Bill.
Yeah,
and I'm happy that he trusts me to do that with me. And he believes in his values, and if he doesn't agree with something, that's it. He's done. You know, and I respect him so much for that. It's like he could be 1 minute he could score hat-trick. He could score hat-trick last week, hat-trick the week before. Don't agree with something at training, and then don't agree with something in the game, and it'd just be like, "Oh, that's it. I'm done, mate. I'm done." Right. And then we'll find a new journey.
Right, I think he's back with us. Let's see if the Wi-Fi connection's a little bit better. Right, Billy boy.
Is it better?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
I think it's the laptop. It might be
because it was so frustrating. Like we could hear you, but the words weren't matching up with your mouth movements at all. Like
that's cool.
It was like we got to get these stories properly. So yeah, like talk to us again. Sorry to rehash old ground, but talk to us about leaving at half time because I'm still in shock about that. Like why does this happen?
It was more, as I said, it was more of a principle thing. Like, don't say you're going to give me this much and then pay me twice for like 5 months of playing football. And even don't pay me the right amount either.
Oh wow, okay.
And then I said to our goalkeeper, I went, if he's going to pay me that much, I'll give him that much of a performance. So getting dragged at like the 35th minute, I think I got like £1 for every minute I played. So
so you went over to Harlow again, didn't you, as well at some point this season, didn't you?
Yeah, and that's the same. Like with my job, like the reason why I had to leave Harlow is because you know, Chapo was there. Chapo's been there years. I go sign over there, and then he's like, he leaves, and then the new gaffer comes in. It's like says, if you don't train, you don't play. But I work days and nights, so my job's more important. So I was like, if I'm not going to train, you're not going to play me. What's the point of me being here?
Yeah.
But my job's more important than anything. Obviously, with a baby on the way now as well.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. How long to go now, mate?
62 days to be precise. Not that I'm counting.
Wow. I've noticed that the crude Twitter messages about Maisie have slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I've become sensible over lockdown, haven't I?
There's a bit. So, Bill, I want to know about this first degree heart blockage that happened after the game for Barking back in, I think, when was it?
2017, I think.
17, about 3 or 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
So it happened after the game? You'd already played the game?
Yeah, I played 90 minutes. Felt like towards the end of the game, it felt like, not that I was having like a out of body experience, but I didn't feel right. Like I could, like, I don't know. And then we got in the team huddle after we won. And then once we broke away, it just went.
Just collapsed on the floor?
Yeah.
Wow.
And went to hospital, ambulance took me away to Lister, because it was in Ware we played. And I think he'd done all the, what's it called? Yeah, whatever it is called. I don't know. I'm useless.
The ECG scans and stuff.
Yeah, all that. And it was like, oh, have you been stressed lately? And he said it was all due to stress.
Right. And then was there a chance that you couldn't, they said that you might not be able to play football ever again?
Yeah, they said, like, you're not allowed to exert yourself, blah, blah, blah. But because I wasn't allowed to do that, I wasn't allowed to work. So I was out of job for like 3 months. So I needed the money. So I wrote a fake letter from my doctor and gave it to the team. And I was like, yeah, I can play. Sweet.
Wow.
Just because I wanted to play as well, not just solely because of money, but.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. And then there was a big thing in a non-league paper about it as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, mate, I've got that on my phone and everything. Read it every now and then.
Yeah. And how are you now? You've totally recovered from that?
Yeah, I'd say so. I've like some weird things in my chest every now and then where I go short of breath or whatever, but it's sweet now. But when I had my ECG, they gave me a monitor to monitor my heart for 24 hours. And when I'm asleep, they said it goes as below as like 27 or 32.
Wow.
So I'm basically like dead when I'm asleep.
Yeah.
But the missus bought up, because I'm not allowed to go into the hospital, she's bought me a heart monitor so I can hear the baby's heartbeat.
Wow.
And we've put it on ourselves. And hers is like a normal heartbeat. And then I put it on me. Even when I'm awake, it just goes boom. Boom. It just takes ages. It's so slow. It's a joke.
Wow.
Oh, The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I don't think I'll make it to 30 at this rate.
No, don't say things like that. So what do you think? We spoke to Craig earlier about what he feels should happen, and I said my piece about what I think should happen with the season. What's your sort of take on it now?
To be fair, I'm not really fussed, but for other people, I think a lot of people would want it to go ahead. So I think, yeah, for their mental health and for personal health as well.
Yeah.
Just Bill, what's your thoughts on?
Go on.
No, carry on. I'll ask the question afterwards.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter how long the season runs on for. You can always adapt it to the next season. Adapt next season around this one. It doesn't have to finish by. Well, they're going to say it has to, but it doesn't have to finish by June. Yeah. Finish it in July. Finish it by July, and then just start again later, and then finish the next one a little bit later, and then slowly get back on track.
I was going to ask you, what's your thoughts on the whole, like sticking to lockdown restrictions? You know, I think some people said that they've been doing it, some people haven't. You know, can you be honest with us and tell us what you've been doing and what's your thoughts around it?
In a way, I have, but I'm not going to lie. I've only done one-to-one training. I've not trained with more person than one. But I've popped into my mum's house
because she lives right next to my work, just to see her and stuff like that. But I've not really done much, like too much to go too far.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, look, so if you're going to see family members, that's a different thing altogether. I'm talking about, you know, today I've seen full-blown games, you know, literally 11 versus 11, bibs versus non-bibs. And
yeah,
I thought, literally, I was like, what? Is it 20? where are we? And I'm just like, I don't know, maybe sometimes I'm a bit of a stickler for rules. But again, if the rules are there,
yeah.
and, you know, they're in place, then stick to them and will be more beneficial in the long run. But some people obviously want to do their own thing. And, you know, it's up to them, each to their own. But at the same time, that person then might come into a person who's, you know, got something, and that person passes it on to someone who's been sticking by the rules, and then it does impact on the person or people have been doing what they're supposed to be doing. So just that's the reason why I asked.
No, I agree. Yeah, like, I'm not one to call people out, as you said, each to their own. But as long as I'm doing as much as I can, obviously with my missus being pregnant as well, I try to be as careful as I can. But it's hard for me because I've got to go work and socialise with 50 other men.
Yeah. So will you be happy to go back if 3 and 6 say, yeah, we're going to go back and we're going to start up again in 3 weeks' time? Will you be happy to do that?
Oh, I would, but whether or not I'll go back, I'm not. Or go back as much because obviously, Maisie being pregnant, I'm more. I'd rather stay at home and help her, even when he comes. I'd rather stay at home than go away on a Tuesday, Thursday night. Not get back to 11. I'd rather stay here and be there for the boy as well.
Yeah, that might change in about 2 months. Don't worry about that. You'll be like, Jay, when's training? So, mate, we're training Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So, where are you going to be playing your football when you get back then? Because how it sounds to me, how it was left, obviously you left Walthamstow, if I'm correct in saying, gone to Harlow for a bit. Is Harlow your last club or latest club? Like, what's the future?
Saffron Walden. Harlow was last season, and the season got null and void. Yeah. And then I signed for Barking, and I didn't even play. I think I'll come off the bench for him, and same again. I'd say I fell out with him over certain things, and then I left there.
Do you want to say hi to Justin, or?
I think we'll keep it like that, mate. To be fair, I've got nothing.
Justin, who you had on previously.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think you played. Didn't you play longer for Swift this season than you have for Barking?
No, I started every pre-season game. I think I was a joint top goal scorer. That was only with 3 goals, but and then first game of the season coming, I got dropped.
I'm listening. I don't know you personally, but I'm starting to detect a little pattern here. Obviously, about falling out of managers and stuff like that. Would you?
He's watching. Justin might be watching. He can just comment and just say why.
He might be. But the question I got asked is like, do you sometimes think, maybe it might be me rather than the person that I'm up against? Like, do you ever think that, or is it just always?
Oh yeah. I'm stubborn, and I hate training. I've got a massive excuses for a book of excuses for training.
So why don't you like training? Why don't you like it?
90% of non-league training is just bollocks, isn't it? You turn up, you do a rondo, wait for the man. Well, so if we're on a rented pitch, so you've got to wait till that exact time to get on. You go do a rondo. They're like, all right, let's set up. You do a rondo, then go around the pitch twice. So like, yeah, sweet. And then the session will just be a load of bollocks as well. And then you finish with a small-sided game of about 30 people on a pitch, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm learning loads from this.
So you don't. So okay. So you basically don't like training because it's not structured. There's no for me, that sounds like flipping under sevens sort of thing. Like warm up, couple laps rounds.
Maybe I probably play coaches. But as I said, don't get me wrong. It's not all the coaches. It's sometimes me.
So you'd rather just rock up to games and then just play the games and that's it. No training, no nothing. Managers
Tell you what,
do need.
I'd play
Better.
I'd play better like that. Yeah.
But what about fitness?
How about
I'm one of them.
He's so good. He doesn't need to be fit.
I don't need to be fit as well. No, I'm joking. I have to be fit. If I do my own, I'm happy doing my own stuff. I can get fit by myself in not match fit. I can get fit enough to play matches, and then the more matches I play, the more match fit you get. The only way you can get fit is playing. The only way you can get match fit is playing matches. You can do as many 5Ks as you want, 10Ks. It's a different fitness to matches.
Yeah.
True.
So,
but
if I'm playing matches, I'm happy. I'll be match fit. I'll play all season, no training.
Oh, have we lost him? Oh, I think we lost him.
Oh, mate.
When he was getting good as well. I'm sure he'll come back.
I'll sign for Swifts and then I'll buy my laptop and some new ball band.
Exactly. Shout out to Carla saying, "Kids, you're signing for Swifts." I think. Are you just using this show just to make signings? Is that it? Is that what you're trying to do?
I think this is why my current players don't like talking to me because they always see that hunting new players.
Oh, he's back. Bill, can you hear us? Oh, he's not frozen again, is he? Listen, people in the comment section are going to get onto him about his internet.
Gift gaff internet, mate.
It's got to be, surely. Shout out to Kids as well, saying Bill's coming Swifts as well. It sounds like everyone's coming to Swifts by the sounds of it.
Yeah, imagine.
Carlos
buzzing.
Midfield free sorted. Right, I think he's there back in the background. Is it sorted, your internet? Yeah, no. I don't know. Can you hear us?
Isn't I?
Move your head about.
Yeah.
Oh, right, we got you back. Okay, cool. I can't remember what we was talking about now. You were talking about just wanting to rock up to games and no training. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll be happy with that. Any gaffer that lets me do that, swear. Bill?
So Coveys put his name in the ring. He just said basically he'll let you do whatever you want. He's almost treating like a sort of Alex Ferguson / Cantona figure where he kind of just gives you free reign to do whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
I'll be
Mate, your internet's so bad.
Tuesday, Saturday. I'd happily just play Tuesday, Saturday, week in, week out.
Whatever team you play for next
I'll blame the missus.
Make sure that they're sponsored by fibre optic or something.
Oh, dear. Someone said Ledley King in the comment section. That's going to be you, just playing games. That's it. So, yeah, if you can manage to be like the non-league Ledley King, you've had a decent career.
Is it working?
It's frozen again. Look.
He's frozen, and we're not talking about flipping Disney.
Wi-Fi's better than my
Kobe, any last thoughts? This
is 4G. This ain't.
I don't think this is working.
No, I can't. That looks all right. Speak, Bill. Nah, it's gone.
No. Bill, if you can hear us, I think we might have to call it there because the internet. Oh, can you hear us?
I think this is my 4G.
That's no way 4G. I don't know what 4G that is.
That's like 4B.
Oh man, the
How
trouble
can you come on the show on your Commodore 64, man?
I'm surprised he weren't not in the conversation. I ain't got onto him. Oh, hey, back there we go. Kid saying dial-up internet. Oh no, sorry, I can't do that no more.
Mate, what a nightmare!
I know, right? I was looking forward to it as well so badly, Bill.
Bill's got to come back on next week. I'm going to buy him some internet.
Back on, use your phone, Wi-Fi, or whatever.
Look at that! Look, yes, exactly that.
During my Saturday night, I was looking forward to this as well. Is he back in the background? Let me try him one more time. Come on, right? Let's see if we can work one more time. We good? No. Yeah? Use your phone data for 5 minutes. Forget the Wi-Fi. Use your phone data. And then that might work. Can hear you.
Just like slow motion, Bill. This is what you're doing, like that.
Oh, wow. If you can hear us, use your phone data for 5 minutes and charge it to Covey. Cool.
That is 4Z.
4B Cowboys. Yeah, I was looking forward to that one as well. I'm sure this guy's got so many stories to tell. But I could just see him still in the background, and it's so nutty, it's unreal.
No, I was thinking, every time he was saying something, I was thinking, I can't even film this and put it on Twitter because everyone's going to be like, what is that?
What is that? What is this?
It's like an Al-Qaeda video.
I mean, look.
He's got dial-up flipping Taliban.
Mr. Jones, if you can hear us in the background, use your minutes data for the last 5 minutes because your Wi-Fi is just not.
Yeah, go on your mobile.
Yeah, I don't know if it's strong enough. But in the meantime, I'm just going to talk about who we've had on previously before. Obviously, the two boys that we had on earlier today, amazing two boys. Once again, if you missed it, go watch it back. Hard to see that comment coming in. Video coming from a cave. I'm trying to be serious here, kids. Come on. Yeah, there's amazing two boys. If you can donate what you can, amazing what they're doing, running for charity as well. Smashed their target of 500 quid, now up to 2K. So again, if you can donate or even just share for awareness as well, amazing stuff. And then we got to hear from Craig Heskey as well, someone that Kieran knows very, very well as well.
Yeah, Craig was quality. The boys was quality.
Yeah,
Craig was quality. Bill, mate,
Bill, the stories that we
spectrum.
Yeah, the stories that we managed to hear, him walking off at half time for Walthamstow. I want to hear more because that's the story in itself. And yeah, hopefully we can get him on for the last couple of minutes or so before we wrap up. But judging by the looks of it in the background, the Wi-Fi is not any different. I'm going to give it one last try. Here we go. Can you hear us?
Move your hand.
No, that Wi-Fi is not saying it.
It's not there.
Yeah, we're going to have to call it a day there. Okay, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to call it. That's it.
Build us, man.
Mr. Jones, if you're watching this back, please get in touch with us. Please sort out your Wi-Fi or some decent internet connection. We would love to have you back on and hear some more stories. Thank you for everyone that tuned in tonight as well. Amazing 3 guests that we've had on, and hopefully we get some more. In fact, we will have some more on. Please stay tuned. We were just going to leave him alone, kid. Leave him alone. We have some.
He's on him.
I know. Twitter's going to be a shambles after this. I'll tell you that now. The conversations. Oh dear, Josie, you let yourself in for that.
Thank everyone who was in your comments as well. The usual suspects was in there. And Daniel Drums was getting at Bill as well. Big fan.
Exactly. Also, we've got to say congratulations to Johnny Fisher as well. Had his first fight, I believe. Was it tonight? He obviously won
Round 1, Romford Ball.
There we go. Gosh. Congratulations to the Romford Ball as well for winning your first fight. In fact, it would be nice to get him on, just to get a different perspective on things as well. But stay tuned. We've got some more amazing guests lined up throughout the next couple of weeks. So again, make sure you follow both of our accounts, and we'll see you guys all soon.
Yeah, watch out for the video that's coming up in the next couple of days as well.
Exactly that. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys all soon. Peace.